Welcome to Peter and Ruffy's football show here on STV. The main talking points on tonight's programme: Rangers clinch the championship and now have their sights set on winning the Premiership. The title is still in our hands, says Celtic manager Ronnie Deila, and Dundee United take a step closer to relegation to the Championship after defeat to Partick Thistle. That's just a few of the talking points in the company of Alan Ruff and our bookroom guest. I'm delighted to say Dundee's James McPake joins us here in the studio. I think first and foremost, delighted to see you. The long road to recovery, how's it coming along, James?
Yeah, it's going well. I'm at a point now where there's a bit of metal work in the knee, so the work we're doing is annoying that, so it's time for it to come out. So in the next couple of weeks, 19th of this month, that's going to come out, and I think from then we'll kick on, hopefully. Yeah,
was there a wee bit of a worry at that time again when you thought, when you picked up the injury, oh no, this could be it?
Yeah, even the doctors and the surgeons were a bit worried that it looked serious. It probably was more serious. It looked more serious than what it turned out to be. That's not to say it wasn't bad. It was bad, but I got lucky in a way. There were no ligament damage. It was just my bone. So hopefully, looking at the X-rays and the scans we've had, it looks as though it's healing, and that's the main thing at the moment.
What was the injury in itself?
A fractured patella, so a fractured kneecap. Something that you don't really hear a lot of. I'd never heard anybody else with it. It's more a kind of basketball or a car crash injury, so yeah, sums my luck up. But
yeah, absolutely. I must admit, Ruffy, it's one of those injuries when I looked at it on the night, you know, even I thought I was in pain just looking at him, and you know, you actually feel, because the last thing you want, especially because we know James, you look at that injury and you think this is a long one.
Yeah, I think if we all, I'm sure James more than anybody, if he shuts his eyes and thinks about when it actually happened, it just happened so quick, and you could tell by the look of all the other players round about him that it was a bad one. They saw it right away. But again, with the modern stuff we've got now, hopefully he can come back better than ever.
Yeah, you're on the bike. I presume a pre-season and then back for next season?
Yeah, that's the plan. Again, we'll not have a true picture until the wires come out, but I think we're even the surgeon that done it and my physio, who's great, the club's physio, has said that at the minute we're ahead of schedule with how much bend we've got, what we can do, but it all just depends on how we can progress after the wires come out. But we're happy with the way it's going at the minute.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Can I just say, and it's nothing to do with football or anything. Yeah. I'm always interested when you've got pins and that in your knee. When you go to the airport and you go through the security, does it go off?
I don't know, my mum's telling me I'm going away next week. She's telling me, you better phone somebody and tell them, just in case it does go off. I'm not too sure.
Only you could think that way, Ruffy. Listen, we're going to talk Dundee Celtic very shortly, but we will indeed focus on the Championship, because Rangers secured it with a 1-0 win over Dumbarton last night. And congratulations to Mark Warburton and the team. That's the scoreline, 1-0 against Dumbarton. Hibs fought back to defeat Livingston by 2-1 in their match. But great credit to Rangers. They've been formidable once they hit the front. There was no catching them.
Yeah, they've been impressive this year, and as you could see with the look in the Rangers fans last night, it's an anticipation they've been waiting for. A year longer than what they would have expected. You know, we're not going up last year, but certainly for the pre-season now, it's just going to be the excitement and the anticipation of where the club is going to go in the future. They'll be looking at players, which is all, it doesn't matter what club you're at, you're always excited about what kind of players are going to come into your club, and I think that's what everybody will be waiting to see now.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a great picture of Andy Halliday in among the fans, James, because, you know, if you're lucky enough to be a fan who's actually playing for the club you love, then it becomes all the more special.
Yeah, it does, and I don't think Andy's ever made any secret that he's a huge Rangers fan. He was a boy at Livingston when I was there, and even then I knew that. So fair play to him. He's delighted. He's playing for the club he's always wanted to play for, and to be fair to him, he's come up here and he's done well. He's been one of the main players in that team, and it's great for him. It's great for his family and everybody around about him. So he's going to enjoy that.
From a player's perspective and from teams in the SPFL. I mean, Neil Doncaster today clearly excited about the prospect of Rangers now coming back, because as a chief executive, he's looking at it and thinking the brand with two of the biggest clubs in the country back is surely more sellable.
Yeah, no, definitely. Even as a player, I want them back in. I'd like Hibs to come up as well. You want the bigger clubs, and that's not been disrespectful to any other club. They're two of the biggest clubs in the country, especially Rangers, and getting them back up. We played them in there in the Scottish Cup, and the atmosphere that day was great. The score was terrible, but that day it kind of reminded you of what it was like to go in there and play. And they're the games you look forward to, the stadiums and the places, the atmospheres, and going and playing in there. So no, I'm delighted they're back up.
Yeah, and the Rangers manager Mark Warburton clearly happy to get the title in the bag. Then it's Petrofac Training Cup final, and of course Celtic on the horizon.
Last year it was avoid relegation or mid-table, or can you do top 10, or this year it was clear we had to get the club back into the top flight. That was very, very clear to us, and delighted with that. You know, we had 11 players come in, 16 go out. They've adjusted, they've adapted, and they've displayed a work ethic and a commitment, which is great for David, myself and the staff to see. So delighted, obviously, delighted, but it's the first step, and the worst thing we can do is stop moving forward now. That's the worst thing we can do. So enjoy tonight, enjoy the good times. We have a big game Sunday, packed Hampden, which will be 95% Rangers, so we have to prepare well, deliver the performance, hopefully, touch wood, win the trophy, then prepare well again for the following week, which we will do. And we want to hit 91 points in the league. That's what we want to do. We want to win it in style, and win it convincingly, and give momentum for next season.
Yeah. One thing Mark Warburton has managed to do, Ruffy, is he's got the Rangers fans on side with the brand of football that the club played.
Yeah, I think if you're a Rangers supporter and you've been there the majority of the season, you've seen good football. There's been wee hiccups along the way, but certainly they've been scoring goals, they've been entertaining, different style of play from what it was a couple of years ago. So as I said earlier, the supporters will be really keen to see where the next step is, because supporters being supporters will aim high. You know, they'll just be hoping that the rest of the club can aim high as well.
Yeah, are you surprised by the comments from a number of players now? It's all about Rangers. You knew it was coming. Rangers want to actually contest the title with Celtic rather than this top six notion.
No, I think big clubs being big clubs have an expectation. The supporters have an expectation. They know the resources that the club have got, and the expectation is to win cups and challenge and be in Europe. And I think the whole of the club and the supporters will have to think like that, because that's what the expectation is at a big club.
Yep. Here's Andy Halliday's take on last night's win and the overall picture.
It's been an incredible achievement. It's something that we obviously it was our main goal since the start of the season, and you know, we feel that we've been top of the league since the first day of pre-season. It's as simple as that, and we've only been going one way, and that's forward ever since the start of the season, and it's full steam ahead from now to the end of the season, because there's still a lot of big games to play for, and then you know onto the Premiership back next year, so back where we belong. Celtic at all, they're 4 in a row, they're going for another title, but you can't be at a club like this and be happy for second. So.
Yep, that kind of sums up the ambition from the Rangers' perspective. I suppose a lot of other clubs will look and think they don't want the focus to be totally about the big two again. The balance of power has shifted in Scottish football, James. You've had Inverness winning the Cup, Aberdeen winning the League Cup as well. So St Johnstone winning the Scottish Cup. Everybody's had a wee taste of silverware.
Yeah, you'll have Aberdeen, you'll have Hearts who are not wanting to give up those positions to Rangers, and Aberdeen are strong, they're showing that, they're still in the title race this late in the season, which I don't think anyone would have expected. I don't know if you put that down to Celtic or down to how good Aberdeen have been, but regardless, they're there and they're thereabouts. So no, they're going to want to be challenging Celtic as much as Rangers are going to be. So no, I don't think it's going to be a case of that's Rangers back up. It's going to go back to being Celtic and Rangers now. Yeah. Other teams have got different ideas as well.
I think since Rangers have went out of the scene, the teams in the SPFL have got better. I think they're a better standard. I think you've just touched on it. They're winning things now. The players at these clubs expect to have good runs in the cup and everything. So yeah. I think when Rangers come up, you know, just like James is saying there, I think they'll get a wee shock when they come up.
No disrespect to James, you said a better standard. Just briefly, Ruffy, I'm not too sure I agree with that. I think the level has dropped over the last 5 or so years.
Oh, I think the level has dropped, but I think what the expectations of teams like Dundee and the style of play they're playing, St Johnstone, you've touched on it, Inverness winning cups.
Yeah.
And I think that Aberdeen as well, now second, Hearts, I think they'll want to stay there.
Yeah, absolutely. You can give us your view on that at Peter and Ruffy on Twitter, facebook.com/Peter and Ruffy, and onto peterandruffy.com. Give us your thoughts on the return of Rangers. We're going to talk Dundee with James McPake coming up right after this break. Welcome back to Peter and Ruffy's football show. Alan Ruff alongside me, Peter Martin. Our bootroom guest is Dundee's James McPake. And last night it was an impressive 0-0. There were more than a few opportunities for Dundee to win that game, James.
Yeah, if you'd necessities before the game, we'd have got a point. To build on the point we got in at Celtic Park a month or 6 weeks ago, we would have probably taken it. But looking back now, we were the better team. We had the better opportunities. I can remember the one Celtic hit the post where it was a deflection, but apart from that I can't remember much more that they threatened Scott Bain in goal, so we're a little disappointed because it would have been a great 3 points for us, but we've still got a great chance of being in the top 6 with a win on Saturday, so the focus moves to that now.
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge achievement, I think. Obviously, I think, to be perfectly honest with you, Ruffy, I don't want to, tell you exactly at the start of the season, but I thought Dundee would be top 6, thought Hearts would be in the top 3, and I mean, it's going to be nervy. Is there a real confidence about you guys now that you can do it?
Yeah, we done it last season, and I don't think many expected it last year, but definitely in the dressing room when you seen the squad, that's what we were hoping. I'd say this season we're night and day again. We're a lot better. It still come down to the last game as it did last season, but no, we're confident if we go and play on our day, we're as good as any team in the league. I think players have come in, Darren Day coming in as well has been a right good sign for the manager. He's steadied it up. He's a good voice, he's a good leader, so he's brought a lot, and I think now we're a bit more settled at the back. We've got the two holding midfielders sitting there as well, Paul McGowan and Nick Ross, who are doing a fantastic job, and he's changed his system, the manager, and it's working great. I watched the game on Saturday as well, and going forward we were outstanding, and probably maybe our Achilles heel at the back. We lost 2 goals, but even then we still looked good, we looked comfortable, and there was only going to be one winner late on in the game, so now we're confident. If we can get down there and play, then we're confident we'll win the game. Yeah,
and of course you can't have that air of confidence, Ruffy, when you've got strikers like Rory Loy, Kane Hemmings is in there as well, Greg Stewart. My one flip side to be negative about it is when you get players scoring goals for fun like that, then the Predators want to snatch them away from Dundee.
Yeah, I mean, that'll always happen. There'll be scouts at a lot of the games identifying our best players up here, and the players you mentioned there will come under consideration. Obviously it's up to the clubs to get them on good deals, and safeguard them losing them at the end of the season, because everybody wants to move to bigger clubs, but it'll be interesting to see which clubs they identify. Yeah,
we mentioned it was a good point for Dundee, Ruffy. What does it say about Celtic, without in any way detracting from the great effort from the home side? They're 5 points clear now. It's all honours even between themselves and Aberdeen. Is this... I mean, Celtic fans were not happy last night with a draw.
No, that kind of performance is why Aberdeen will always believe that there is a chance. If they're going to turn in performances like that, then there's always hope. I mean, I know it's 5 points, so 7 would have been even better from Celtic's point of view, but Aberdeen will still keep believing. They've still got to play them. You've got the split coming, and Hearts are going to come into the equation as well. But it's up to Aberdeen. Aberdeen have been given an opportunity like they have done before and not capitalised on it. They've got a tough one at the weekend in Hearts, and I would think if they come through that one, they will really believe that when the split comes, they've got a chance.
Yeah, absolutely. At the other end, I mean, here's the results from last night. As well as Dundee 0, Celtic 0, there was a painful scoreline, James, for Dundee United. I know everybody wants to see derbies, especially in the city of Dundee. This one, I think, is a difficult one to take for Mixu Paatelainen, especially when you consider the pressure they had in the first half.
Yeah, I've heard that. Obviously, I've never seen any of the game being at ours, but I'd heard they were very good in the first half, and they should have been a couple of goals in front. So I think Mixu will be disappointed. They went on a wee kind of run. They get back the game against us for 2-0 down, and they won. They get 3 points at the weekend again. So no, I was looking at it and thinking if they can win last night, then they would really be putting pressure on the teams that they were chasing. They're still there. There's still 6 games to go, so they'll not give up. And probably a lot of Dundee fans will disagree, but I would love to see them staying in the league because the derbies have been good. They've been entertaining. Everyone since Dundee have come back up, they've been good games, and there's been a lot of talking points, and it's good for the game. Just getting back, touching on the Rangers and Hibs coming back up, it's great that you've got the big clubs and the derbies. You to the Edinburgh derby, the Old Firm derby, our derby, so it only benefits Scottish football.
Yeah, absolutely, and well, you can tell by listening to Mixu Paatelainen how gutted he was last night.
When you lose a match, you are spitting bullets, and negatives come to your mind very easily. But we do realise also there was plenty positive in that. Although we got beat today, all is not lost. We still have a chance, 5 points. But that was a great opportunity missed. And I've said that all along. Kilmarnock will win. They've got quality in their side. If we don't capitalise an opportunity like tonight, especially after performance like that first half, so disappointing, and you don't know what to laugh or cry.
Oh, that sums it up. He doesn't know whether to laugh or cry, Ruffy. And I think the other key point that he made there is Kilmarnock are going to win something.
Yeah, you would keep saying to yourself that there is going to be a time when they're going to win a game. I don't think Kilmarnock will go from now till the end of the season without picking up something. So I think the Saturday will be a big one. He'll be hoping that they can pick up 3 points, and Kilmarnock only pick up particularly just 1 point, because that would be the gap narrowed again, and obviously they'll have Kilmarnock to play. So I think that's why he's so mad about last night. Even a point last night would have been very, very crucial at the end of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I can't pick between. I've said all along, I think Dundee United will go down, James, but I can't pick between Kilmarnock and Hamilton.
No, again, that's what it could come down to. Just what Ruffy's touched on. A point here or there could be massive for either of the teams, and they'll be looking to drag other teams down as well. But I think just now it is looking like those 3, and it's going to be a battle between them. And they'll definitely not give up. Like knowing Mixu personally, but knowing the way he is, like he's driving them on, and you've seen that in the derby against us. But they've definitely not gave up, and they have cut the gap, and that's what they just need to pick up wins and hope results go for them, and they can get within touching distance. But I think Kilmarnock and Hamilton, they'll be desperate for results as well, and sometimes it's as I say, it can be a point here or there, and even like that, Ruffy says, that point last night, that could be the difference come the end of the season. It's that tight.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm just looking here, Ruffy, Thistle, got to mention it's a win. Callum Booth has signed a 2-year extension. He'll be there, I think it's to 2018. I've always been impressed by him. Everything looks okay for Thistle now.
Yeah, well, particularly this season, the last 2 or 3 seasons as a player and a supporter, they've been down there most of the season and then just getting away at the end of it. So it'll be a pleasing, the remaining games, they could relax a wee bit, try and attract. They obviously know they're going to lose players, crucial players look as if they're going to be leaving. So Alan will be actively trying to suss out who he would like to bring in next year. Yeah,
Chris Doolan, I've got to give a mention to him, Ruffy, because time and time again we always talk about who's going to score goals for Thistle, but he pops up with crucial goals.
Yeah, and if you ask James, he's a kind of player in the box. You can't leave him for a minute. He can play off the shoulder. He's got that wee half a yard. And you give him a chance and he'll hit the target, and he's done it so many times this year that he's come up with a winner.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, Barcelona 2-1 against Atletico. In the end, they had to wait for Torres to get sent off before they got any traction, Ruffy, but in the end they got the win.
Yeah, they did, and it looked as if it was going to be a good 1-0 for the away team, but the big players come up with the goals, and that's what happened with Suarez. It'll be an exciting second leg. I don't think it's done and dusted yet, but it'll be a really good one to see.
Yeah, Bayern Munich win the other match by 1-0. Who have you got as your tip for the Champions League, James?
Barcelona, I think.
Yeah.
I love watching them play. Although I watched the game, I get down the road quite quick on Saturday after our game to watch it, and it was terrible. So never seen last night's game, but no, I still think they'll be the team. Especially with that front three, they're brilliant to watch, and they must be horrible to play against.
Yeah, it's been two bad games for Messi. I don't know why they just don't leave him out one of these games.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It's like leaving Gary Harkins out of the Dundee team. You just can't do it, Paul. You just can't do it. Listen, we wish you all the very best in your recovery, James. Thanks very much for joining us. Good news for Dundee that he's on the way back. From Ruffy and myself, do join us tomorrow. We'll have Simon Ferry of Peterhead looking towards the Petrofac Training Cup final. Good night.